All right, guys, let's bring on our first guest tonight. Once again, he's a great dude in this hobby. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Stephen Hammer.
Hammer time. Hercules.
He's folks. No, he's not as tough as he looks. Those we were just talking about it. Those tattoos are they are not real. Don't let him fool you. He likes to pick up kittens and ducks on the way home and cuddle with them all
Those are
day
just
long.
those are just there to intimidate Sammy Malik and company.
What's up, Ethan? Steven, welcome in, buddy.
Hello, everybody. It is a good night to talk to friends and talk about wrestling belts.
That is for me. That's every night. That's every night for me. I love talking about this hobby. I enjoy this hobby. It's not all of our lives, as well as nobody else. It's all of our lives. If it is, I'm sorry. That's the way. Please get outside more. But we love wrestling here. It was all instilled to us from a young age. And that's the first thing for you, Stephen, that I wanted to know is, when is your first memories of wrestling? When do you first recall seeing wrestling for the first time? Can you remember that?
A little bit. My older brother Jamie, he's watched wrestling, his entire life, and he watched a lot of the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior stuff. And of course, I grew up more into like the WWF new generation, the Doink the Clowns, the Yokozunas, the Bret Harts, and man, once I found that, dude, I was at like Blockbusters and like my local video stores renting videos left and right, and then I found like all the Hulk Hogan stuff and like all the Shotgun Saturday nights and like Sunday night heats and everything that would come on, and I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to be watching all the time, and I just got obsessed. I wanted the action figures, I wanted the foam belts, I wanted everything, posters in my room, you know what I mean, like t-shirts. So I was probably 7.
Okay.
Like I said, probably 7. I'm born in '87, so I mean, so you're looking, early '90s was mostly my gap of professional wrestling. That new generation. I know a lot of people crap on me, but like Mabel and Doink the Clown, dude, I love that era of the WWF.
Yeah. I don't think anybody today could pull off Doink the Clown. It was right for him and what he did. I mean, other people have tried to do. I think today, just because of the way wrestlers are, and they forget about the showmanship with the crowd so much that they would try to take it too seriously as a wrestler. And he didn't. He played what he was a clown, and I thought that was really awesome.
I'm a big Doink. Anybody knows me. Yes,
the evilness.
He had that evilness.
Yes,
I was a big. I enjoyed it. I'm still advocating for them to bring back Gobbledygook or this Survivor Series, bro. Bring it back. Let's finish the story because didn't the egg get stolen? McMahon stole the egg, didn't he?
Yeah.
So let's finish the story. If we finish Cody's, we finish the Gobbledygookers.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Yeah. You grew up in the same type of era, Ethan. Wasn't that yours?
Yeah, I actually went back and researched because I remember I was actually watching wrestling. My mom was asleep and my dad was doing what my dad was doing. And I had the TV on real low, and that's how the first anything I ever seen was Saturday Night's Main Event. Ultimate Warrior hits the stage, running back there. November of '89. I went and researched it to find the exact one. November of '89. That was the exact night I discovered wrestling.
All right. Let me tell you a story about the Ultimate Warrior, just really quick.
Sure.
I used to live in Illinois, and my dad had took me to a house show back in the day, WWF. So this was around the time the Ultimate Warrior had just come back in like '96 or something like that.
Yeah.
And Ultimate Warrior was on the poster, right? Ultimate Warrior versus Vader. And I was like, yes, give me this match. Dude, Ultimate Warrior's music hit. He hit the ring. The referee rang the bell. He hit a clothesline, and a splash on Vader. 1, 2, 3. His music was still playing, and he left. And I was like, that's it? That's all we get?
See, but at least you got to see him. The one time The one time I was going to see him was when he's having his contract dispute and he no-showed the event. Sacramento, California. Broke my heart. Yep.
Wow. All those people bought that to go and see that dude. And what's up, Jason? Very creative guy in the hobby. We are, man. We're having a good week. Good week. Keep doing what you do, dude. What you do with the belt and the things that you're doing and keeping it positive. Keep it up, brother.
I like that guy. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Steven, do you like, now that you got into that, when was it that, because I know you like the 80s days, the days that I grew up. You know,
I'm wearing a beautiful Bobby Eaton shirt right now.
That dude is in my top 3 of wrestlers all time.
Such a kind man. Oh my God.
He was a great one.
When did, I grew up in, Virginia Beach before we moved down to the farm with the family in North Carolina in the mid 80s. So, in Virginia Beach, we had Norfolk Scope, Hampton Coliseum. Then you could go down to Raleigh, the Dorton Arena. Then we had Greensboro Coliseum and Charlotte Coliseum, Mid-Atlantic, NWA territory. $5 got you in the other seats, not with a ringside. And you were seeing Ric Flair, Wahoo, Four Horsemen, Rock and Roll Midnight, all those. Then for $10 to $15, you were ringside. You'd come right out. You could grab Arn Anderson and whatever, and he'd look at you. Tell your boy to pipe down, or I'm not going to hit you. I'm going to punch you. They knew how to. That's why it's my favorite, because they knew it wasn't about their entrance. It was what they were doing while they were entering the ring. Today's wrestling, I get so upset about 6 minutes to come to the ring while you're doing all this and worrying about your backdrop and the music and getting the ring and standing in the ring, instead of going around the ring and bringing that showmanship back of spitting on somebody, yelling at somebody, really turning into that heel. And I know you've watched that era and you like that era too. When did you start realizing about the early 80s, the Mid-Atlantic and the NWA days? Because I know you like the Midnight Express too.
Love the Midnight Express. I love the Rock and Roll Express. So back in the day, I say back in the day, but it was probably 2008, 2009, 2010. Beautiful Bobby Eaton lived in Kingsport, Tennessee, like 20 minutes from me.
Oh, wow.
We eventually worked together on some of these like local independent shows. So I became his like manager. With Jim Cornette wasn't really doing anything around here. So I became Bobby's manager.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Had you ever heard of this, Steven?
That's the first I've heard of it. I was trying to put it together in my head.
Hang on one second. Let me see here. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Wait. This breaking news with I never heard this from you, and I stalk you a lot.
This picture right here is me and Bobby. Bobby has the big gold belt in his hands because we called Bobby Eaton the real world's champion. So that's me in this ugly looking cowboy hat, but that's Bobby right there.
Hat. Do you still have the hat?
Whoa.
I don't. I do not.
Oh.
But yeah, I managed Bobby on the indie scene for a little bit. And we went to his house, and
that was after his days of getting out of the NWA and getting out of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, or was that in some Smoky Mountain Wrestling stuff?
Well, there was NWA Smoky Mountain that was in my area, ran by Tony Givens, and Tony Givens had Bobby Eaton come in a lot, and Ricky Morton still pops in every now and then. But yeah, Bobby was here. He lived about 20 minutes down the road. And Bobby and the promoter of the wrestling show, of the indie show that I was working with, were good friends. Bobby was super smart. He was telling us how to build actual good looking wrestling posters and like make it look good for like sticking it on a vending machine to promote the show or whatever. He was like, you need to have big, bold words that say exactly what this show is, wrestling. Don't just put, XPW presents whatever. Make sure it says wrestling. That way people know exactly what they're looking at is a wrestling show. Anyway, Bobby was so kind. I have some funny stories that I could tell you about him. He lived across the street from a Dunkin' Donuts. or it was a Krispy Kreme.
Oh,
sorry, it was a Krispy Kreme.
That's how that big bottom jammer got bigger and bigger over the years. That's the big jammer. Am I saying it wrong? His top rope move, the Alabama Jammer. Alabama Slammer, Jammer.
Alabama
was it Jammer?
Yeah.
God, how many inches did he lose over his life by slamming his spine and his tail to the bottom of it? Because that's what's taking all the brunt of it. But it's so good because it looks so violent. It looks so good. There you go. He's right. Flawless one. Welcome in, buddy. Appreciate it.
But yeah, I was going to Bobby's house one day.
Well, Gianni always is keeping secrets,
right?
Yeah.
Keeping him secrets.
We were going to Bobby's house. We were going to film some promo stuff. And we were like, wait, who's this crazy looking old man running across the street in his tidy whities?
No,
we realized it was beautiful Bobby Eaton running across the street to go to Krispy Kreme to get a donut.
Hey, we've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah,
it was in his wrestling tights,
his tidy whities.
No, his real underwear, tidy whities.
Yeah. And a white T-shirt and some tidy whities. He just bolted across the street
from his house to go on the street.
That's
Can
awesome.
you imagine walking in there and walking right into the Dunkin' Donuts and seeing the guy?
Yes, I'd like 2 large donuts and don't mind my pecker. Sorry, this morning.
Can you imagine taking? I wonder if they knew who he was. At that
I don't know.
Probably
because I mean, if it's younger kids working, they're not going to know, right? They.
And we're getting away from Steven here, but I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Did he ever say to you? I've never really seen anybody in an interview ask, "Hey, why don't you like to talk on the mic? What is it about the mic that you don't? Is it a skill that you don't want to hone? You don't like? You don't have? Are you afraid of the accent thing or the country boy coming out?"
Bobby was good when he wanted to be. But he just didn't really.
He spoke. Remembered it.
He just didn't really care to talk because it was sometimes hard for him to remember what was needed to be said. Like, I'll see you at Madison Square Garden in the cage on July 2nd at 8 p.m. bell time. It was hard for him sometimes to remember those little details. But when he did cut a promo, oh my God, you just had to take a step back and just let him go.
He was always, but he had the greatest of all time behind him. Jim Cornette, Bobby. But Bobby, you watch on their shows, he's just chewing a gum, looking around at the audience, but he's listening. You think he's not paying attention or whatever, and then Cornette will say something, and Bobby's trying not to break character, or he look over at Sweet Stan and Stan with, nope, I'm not looking at you, Bobby. I'm not doing it.
See, that's a frustrating thing about living in California. We didn't get the territory stuff or something, so. My extent of knowing, Texas Tornado stuff is when they came through WCW or they came through WWE. Yeah. That's how I know them. I didn't get the territory stuff. We passed around some VHS tapes here and there, but that was far between.
But that's what we have now, and I hope it doesn't get messed up in the future that WWE has all this, and they don't hide it behind 2 more paywalls or this, that, and the other, because they've really put up a good collection, and YouTube is a great place to find some of that stuff too, but I can't believe that, and maybe you'd be willing to come back sometime and we just talk about your experience with Bobby and what it was like doing some stuff with him. Would you want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
I want to, because you can't see it right there, but there's 2 magazine covers. One of those covers they're both from the Wrestling Illustrated, and it's got the Midnight Express when they won the tag teams in the United States, and they have both the belts, and they're both signed by them. And then the one up is when just after the Rock and Roll Express had won, it says Bullet to the Top, and both of them signed that one too. Those are my main 2 things. And I hated the Midnight Express growing up. I couldn't stand them growing up. I absolutely hated them because I was a Rock and Roll Express fan. And afterwards, when I got to be a grown adult, 18, 19, 20, and those days were over, you start watching things, you're like, no wonder you hated them, because they were so good at their craft. They knew what they were doing and how to do it. Like when I met Arn Anderson, I walked up to Arn Anderson and he said, "You know what? What's that, buddy? I hated you. You were a piece of crap. I hated you." And he laughed and giggled and he said, "You know what? That's refreshing to hear, because so many people come up, I loved you, man. You were so great. When I'm thinking in the back of my head, I could count in an arena how many times people liked me. It was like on the hand. So he says, that's how I knew I did my job right when I was hated. And I said, you did it good because I wanted to kick your teeth in. And that's what people don't understand today is these wrestlers today, I think it's a disservice to where they live too much of their life out of kayfabe on social media to where you can't really build hating them because you see their lives, you see their family, you see their grind. I think if you bring part of kayfabe back, I really think it takes wrestling back. And this question is to you. Do you like what wrestling has become today? Because I don't like it. I don't like the 10-minute mic on mic, them talking. I'd rather see matches. I didn't come on to pay a ticket to see all that. I'd rather the promos be done by backstage where it's 30 seconds, him talking crap on the person, and then we go. And I'd rather see the entrance is shorter. Then on the WWE product is 50 times better than what AEW doing. And it's my opinion. They're really sinking their ship. And my opinion on that is that they are signing too much talent that's the same. They're all 5'5", 5'6", 160-pound wrestlers, and they're all doing the same thing. And I want true tag team wrestling to come back. Because if you did that, I think that you could give more nights off to where it doesn't have to be about the world champion or the US. That night in that arena, it's all about talking and doing and building up the tag team thing.
But when you say true tag team, I think of one tag team. Kane and X-Pac.
No,
I had to. I'm a Legion of Doom guy. So,
well, there ain't nothing wrong with that. So, what do you think of that today? What is your view, Steven, of wrestling today?
well, like you said, with AEW, I used to love it. I thought, man, this is where it needs to be. And then it was like it hit a plateau, right? And then it was like just nosedive, right? It just wasn't. I don't like it anymore. I don't watch it. I don't care about their product anymore. You can bring in your Sasha Banks and your Ospreys and all that stuff. I'm sorry, that doesn't interest me anymore. You want to grab my attention? It's got to be a good story. This whole bloodline story, the whole Cody thing, like all of that, dude.
Great.
That to me is good. That makes me want to watch. Yeah. Nowadays, though, it's all WWE in my opinion.
Yeah. NWA, I liked it early going on, but I think the owner, Billy, has really crashed it with some of the dumb things that he has done.
Yeah.
I really think they need to expand upon what they were doing early on. I think they actually need to bring in a better talker, a better promoter. They need Jim Cornette back, and they need to realize that to call that
somebody needs to hire Jim Cornette, whether it's AEW or NWA. That dude still has such a brilliant mind for the business. Oh my God! Please, to God, somebody sign him.
I mean, to call that guy, and you know this, Steve, to call that guy being racist or this, that, and the other, when he was the one that broke in many of the black wrestlers during that time, during the 70s and early 80s, is preposterous. And to kick him out on that comment when that comment wasn't being that way and didn't mention anything about race was absolutely ridiculous. And stop cowtailing to the nuisance on Twitter. So you don't like that. So what is your thought on the tag team wrestling and the state of it is today? Because I think it's non-existent.
You're right. It's pretty much non-existent. I can't tell you like a really good solid tag team that I actually look forward to watching on TV.
I think FTR is what it is.
FTR is probably the best.
That's the only one, the best I can think of.
I can't think of anybody else.
You don't want to miss our truth.
The Briscoes were phenomenal, and it's a shame. I got to see them in his last match before he passed away. It was against the Rock and Roll Express in Dorton Arena, and they were hilarious. They came out in that match, the Briscoes, and the lights went off and flickered back on. And, hey, you turn off them daggone lights one more time, I'm gonna come down there and kick your teeth in. They were just witty. They were on the edge of what they were doing, and they could sell. They understood the because they spent a lot of time around great tag team wrestling. They understood about how to sell, how to make the audience hate them. And it's just a shame that what happened.
Yeah.
to him passing away not after that. But what do you think about tag team?
Well, like I said
Especially
earlier,
today.
tag team. I wish they would do more real tag team stuff, but like I can't stand it when they just put random people together. Now, it was weird for me. I'm going to use them for an example, like Cesaro and Sheamus. Like I thought that was a really weird combination years ago, but then they eventually started working really well together and being like they were the bar, and they were a really good tag team. But like, there's really nobody in the WWE that I can think of that's like a tag team that has my attention right now.
All right. I mean, R-Truth and The Miz are funny, hilarious.
They don't have my attention though.
Right.
Judgment Day,
as
they don't have my attention.
As wrestling. I mean, R-Truth is one of the jewels of the wrestling hobby. That dude is just
really
funny and hilarious in what he does. But they're not a true tag team. They're just two guys put together, just like every other tag team. I want a tag team with a tag team name: British Bulldogs, Legion of Doom, and
I think Jimmy and Jay
Foundation.
could be I think Jimmy and Jay could have been a real lead as a tag team. Give them a good name. Let them be the tag team. Let them be the guys. I know they have to do the bloodline and all that stuff like that, but they're just good together.
I just wish they would slow down on all the super kicks.
Yes.
I get tired of seeing that. But otherwise, like some of their matches with the New Day and stuff are fantastic. Same with the Young Bucks, right? It's just constant super kick, super kick, super kick. Can we do something else here, guys?
I think that's part about making a finisher great again. We got to get back to that.
You're doing all these high flying moves and this, that, and the other, and a dude gets pinned from a backhanded shot across his face. What? But you just kicked out of 3 somersault kicks, flips, gymnastic, hoodoo, pile driver off the top rope 3 times.
DDT was a finisher.
Yeah.
A belly splash was a finisher.
And you sell it violently. I mean, look at the guys in the 80s selling some of their, like The Rock was very violent when he would throw certain methods down. Arn Anderson, the belly was violent when he threw you down. I'd like to see some of that come back, but I don't know. I think grassroots wrestling would be great, and I would hope that Vince McMahon's son, Shane McMahon, would come in and buy the NWA, because I think you could build something that is old school grassroots wrestling.
Well, the thing is, NWA had it right there at the pandemic. They had that when they put all that stuff on YouTube, right? We were like, holy crap, this NWA stuff on YouTube is really good.
Yep.
And then it's like, what happened to it? It is.
It's coming. It's coming. So I'm still floored with the Bobby stuff and some of the pictures and the memorabilia you probably have. And that's just incredible. And I imagine it really, really hurt you when he died.
Yeah. I can tell you another story real quick. My primary care doctor, I was wearing a Midnight Express shirt, and I walked in there and she kind of looked at it and she was like, "Is that Bobby Eaton?" And I said, "Yeah, it's, yeah, he used to live here, yada, yada." Right. And she was like, "I used to be a nurse. And as Bobby was sick in the hospital and before he passed, she took care of him."
What?
Yeah. And so like, that just gave me goosebumps just talking about it. What
led to him getting sick?
I believe it was just a heart attack. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while, and that's terrible that I don't remember. But
I know he was really hurt when he lost his wife. Was not too long before.
Yeah,
and people don't understand, and it's usual when somebody loses their spouse. It's especially when they get a little older. It's not too long before they go. I mean, my dad died, and then 3 years later, my mom dies.
I think we can all agree with that. My mom passed 6 months later. My dad passed, and it sucks.
I got a crazy one for you. We had a lifelong family friend that his wife was diagnosed with brain cancer. They gave her a few months to live, but she actually lived about 2 years. She died in the morning and had a brain aneurysm and died.
Oh man!
Him leaving the hospital, had a heart attack the day she died. Had a heart attack on the freeway and passed away.
Who is this?
A lifelong family friend of ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make
just
heartache, man, breaking on your heart.
God,
Yet
dang.
all these experiences and things, and people don't know what's going on in my life or your life or Steven's life. Ask if you like the person. I mean, ask. Send them a brief message. We just had a person in the hobby that lost their mother. Send them a quick, a message saying, "Hey, just thinking of you. No need to reply." That kind of thing. And Steven, you're going through something, you and your lovely wife, and she seems very sweet, and her on videos is so genuine and true. How is she doing? Because it was heartbreaking to see her have to go through that and lay flat for how many hours with her face down in that thing?
Oh my God. Yeah.
It looked like a toilet bowl thing, and that looked horrible to have to lay your flat. And I'm trying to give a description of people. It looks like a toilet bowl, padded toilet bowl, and you have to lay to keep how many hours?
Yeah, so the thing was, she had her eye surgery because she's going blind. So for people that don't know, she had the eye surgery, and they told her with all of like the gases and stuff that's in her eye, she couldn't be sat up like this, or she couldn't lean back. She had to lay face down for a week. That's what she had to do. I think she made it a couple days, and then she was like, "I can't do this anymore." But
a couple of days, I couldn't do it for 2 hours.
Yeah,
she did that a couple of days.
Yeah.
Bless her heart.
But as far as now,
her eye
still has
in the picture. It looks kind of good in the pictures that you did the other day. She looks good, but I understand that there was no effect, that it didn't help.
Yeah, no. Regardless, she is going to wake up and be completely blind one day. They've made it a fact that it's going to happen one day. It's just a matter of what can we do to slow it down a little bit. And there's really nothing more they can do at this point. It's just a matter of waiting when it's going to happen. But we had went to the doctor last time, and she's got this hole in her eye, and it was basically getting closer together, of like coming together and healing. But now the recent scans show that her eye hole has opened back up. And so like we're trying to figure out what we can do from there. The doctor said he could take like a piece of like her peripheral vision, take some of that and try to close up that gap in her eyeball. But she's leaning towards not messing with her peripheral vision. She would like to keep what vision she does have there. So
would not looking at you so much help? I mean, because I have to put a piece of tape. Would looking at you not would help? I think looking at you would help her. Because when you get on YouTube, I have to put a piece of X over you so that
See, I was going the opposite way. Is I have a sense of humor. Like I would tell my wife, I'm like,
I'm kidding.
Do you understand how lucky you are to have witnessed pure beauty before you lose? So that's the way I look at it.
But you were saying this. Yeah, you were saying the same thing, Hammer. It's not a whiff. You try to slow things down. As you know, I have CTE, and that's what the doctors are doing to me. I'm not going to make it to 50, but they're trying to give extra days and whatever, but it's inevitable. And when it comes, but I found through her and through my experience as well, is that she's handled it with grace. There's nothing you could do about it. You be happy because even though I may have what's coming, I'm still blessed with what I have now.
Yeah. She's still here.
She's doing the same thing to where what she is. She's enjoying life now.
Yep.
And if you're watching, hello, we're praying for you. Thoughts and prayers.
I don't know if she's watching or not. I just heard the dogs barking, so I don't know if she's out there like playing with them or
your husband
what.
Is too much to look at. Me and Ethan will chip in for a strippergram, and that's better for something to come over and help you look at something.
She might like it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. The other thing is, I wanted to ask you about, when did your love of belts start? When did this start?
Oh gosh,
age of when you said
I don't remember the I don't remember the exact age, but it was a VHS tape of it was Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. I think they were in like this Coliseum home video ladder match or something for the IC title. And I was like, whoa, I want that belt.
Wait. Do that again? Cool. What'd you do?
Whoa.
That needs to be one of your screenshots. Your YouTube.
But yeah, I was like, the Intercontinental title is just one of my favorites of all time. I just think that's a beautiful, beautiful belt.
Is that your favorite?
Man, it always.
If you had to pick one.
Oh my God.
Stephen Hammer, this no, hold on. I'll help you with this.
The hot seat.
This is God. Stephen, you can only pick one belt. Stephen, you must do it now. One belt, or I take them all. This is the devil, by the way.
So, which one would it be if you only had to have one?
It would be the Winged Eagle.
Woo!
Yeah.
Out of the left field.
Yeah, it would be the all gold Winged Eagle, man. I love that belt. I just think that belt is just gorgeous.
They have Stone Cold. Appreciate that comment. So, what was your first belt? Was it a foam thing back in the day? Was it?
It was. It's over there. The little plastic foam Intercontinental. That was my very first one, dude. WWF magazine. Begged my mom. I'm like, yo, can I get that? Is there what can I do to get that belt in this magazine? What can I do to get that belt? And I think she wrote a check and mailed it, and then and that was that first belt. But the first adult like metal was a WWE Big Eagle. It was like around WrestleMania 20. They made like a limited run of Big Eagle belts. It had a WrestleMania 20 silver plate on the end of it. And that was my first belt. Like I saved up birthday money and all that stuff right to get that belt. And I thought I was just the coolest MFer on the block. Just I thought I was so cool. And I was like, dude, I didn't know I could buy these things. Then you find the old like the Figures Inc. like magazines with all the like the big golds and undisputeds and stuff. Oh my God. Like imagine having those belts now at those prices, man. Oh my God.
I remember back in the early 2000s going through a phase of looking at belts, and you always stumble across Milliken's website, and I was like, $1,200 I can get one. I'd still be waiting right now, so fortunately I didn't. But
Dave Milliken, you're a piece of the crap of the decade, #1 on Double Dropkick Podcast of Pieces of Crap. Like and subscribe, though, Dave.
See, but that's my thing. Is like I'm more of a principal.
Famous people and won't do nothing to pay people back. You're
that's the problem. Is I'm more of a principal type of person, so I would just camp down in front of his house until I get my fucking belt, because I'm that guy. You either gonna get tired of looking at me, or can you get my fucking belt?
It's not hard to do a lawsuit, and for that it still would be small claims court. If you want to know how to do it, it's very easy, and you can also request a hearing to where it's video because of your distance. A judge will grant that. I promise that.
I'm Mexican, bro. We don't do lawsuits.
This question real quick because we're almost running out of time, but I do want to have Steven back on there. How many belts do you have right now in your collection?
10. I think the most I had at one time was like 28, and now I'm down to 10 because I've sold a lot, this past year especially. So yeah, I'm about down to 10. But the ones I do have, I really enjoy them. So I don't want to sell them. So
right, yeah. What's on the way? Anything on the way? Or on
nothing?
The want list? Anything?
On the want list? On the want list for sure. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
you got? What you got?
I would love
#1. Somebody gave you money and said the one belt you can get right now that's on your want list. Here you go. Get it. What is it?
Ooh. It's gonna sound silly, but I need a new WWF Classic Intercontinental. I just had my shop replica. I sold it to Zach Hunter Lawson.
I just got Eaton that I got to take care of tonight. Remind me of that, Eaton.
And I would like to have another one if I had the money. Yeah, that's the one I would probably go after again.
All right, and this question we got from Jason: what belt would you guys like to see influence the next mainline championship? Well, I'd like to see them bring back some of the old school belts themselves, but if that's not going to happen, my answer is I'd like to see another design that was like the United States title. I like that shape. I like that styling and the tooling. I'd like to see a belt like that. I'd also like to look at the 80s style and use those type of styling. I'd like to see WWF bring a TV title too.
I've turned into a big homer for 2 belts. But one of them, the Andre belt, man. I don't know why, man. I I've turned into a homer for that belt. Like I love it.
Like to see something inspired off of that.
Yeah, some of these makers are doing a fantastic job. Don't get me wrong. One of these guys does cast eagles. They're a relief piece, so the eagles just pop, and it looks so good. But the other belt that I have that shop made that it grew on me for some reason, man, I'm not going to get rid of it, is the U.S. title, United States Championship.
Yep.
That thing is just
perfect.
Steven, what would you like to see influence the next title?
My God. I don't know. The belt that first came to mind for some reason was the WCW 91 to 94. That was the first one that popped in my head. I like that design. I think that's a very simple design, and it could look good almost anywhere.
Yeah. For this question, to me, anything over 6 months, I think is pushing it. I don't think it should take that long to make a belt. I've been critical of Classic Shields and what they're doing with that, and I think their customer service needs to improve. But I have 9 of them back here. I love their work, but their stuff needs to improve. What would you guys think? In your opinion, me 6 months.
Shoot me some pics of that, Andre. Yeah, I'm in that 6 to 8 month range. I think it's preposterous to be able to impregnate my wife tonight. She carried baby to full term, and not get a belt. That's crazy.
Yeah, anything at 6 months or more, I think is complete bullshit. In my opinion, I think people. I think people will
saucy on the channel.
Oh my God. Because it not only affects, because I waited on a belt from Sammy Malik for like 9-10 months once.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, dude, come on. But I also have friends in the hobby that like I recommend certain makers to, and I'm like, yeah, this guy takes about 2 months. And then 6 months later, he still hasn't gotten his belt. And I'm like, come on. No. I think that's some BS that makers can take that long, but they're quick to take your money, but they take forever to make a belt. So
I think a lot of people could do well. Show me that belt is in hand, and I'll send it to you. The thing that I think a lot of people are waking up to is that all these makers, they're probably not making their own belt. They're getting them from the same 3 people. And I know we got a guy backstage who says the same thing. To know that is the truth. Ben Walker has been, no, these guys are getting all their stuff from several guys, and that's it. And then 50 of them try to get it. I think that's where some of the backlog comes from. Now, I don't think that's quite true with CS. I think CS has got a different problem, but I think that's for mainly.
Well, they've admitted to me. CS has admitted to me that they sell their plates to makers.
Yes, that has been proven true. That has been proven true. That has been proven true.
Yes, Jesus.
I think only for Mark Maggard, because he's such a horrible human being, that 24 was my limit. So I think you only had to wait an extra, but you should. No, but what they did with Mark, and then trying to lie and say, oh, it was sitting at the airport for 2 weeks. Do you not know a tracking number gives time frames when it's picked up?
Yeah, we could do some. We could do. Yeah, like that was some BS.
I'm picking on him, but he's a great guy, great friend. Mark is. I mean, it'd have been perfect if it had said. And for the excuse to, no, makers out there, if you're also watching, don't put the bubble wrap right on the foiling paper right on top of it. That put the bubble wrap and then put the packing tape on top of it. That because that stuff will stick.
Yep.
And if it's not been dried for at least several days, it's going to do that. Yeah. Yep. Very true statement. Very true statement. Oh my Lord. Are you serious, dude? I think we need to make a little post about that. That's crazy. Steven, would you come back? Because I would like to have you on another show at another point to talk more about belts exactly, and to talk more about your time with Bobby. Would you care to join us back on the show sometime?
Yeah, I don't care. Hit me up anytime. Like I watch all y'all shows and the goat milks and all that stuff. And I try to watch the BAM show or Beltomania or whatever it is nowadays. I try to watch everybody, but yeah, of course, man. Anything for you, of course.
And please let everybody know your YouTube channel. What is that to check you out?
I ain't got a clue. I don't have a clue what my channel's called. I don't have a clue.
All right.
All you have to do is just search up my name, Stephen Hammer.
There you go. Please go check him out. He's got just a great, to the point, great cutscenes, great animations, very informative. Go check out his YouTube page. I love it. It gives you some humor. It's funny. The ones with his wife's in there is really good. When she talks about the belt, what is her belt? She gives a little.
Oh my God!
Screamer! Don't get mad at me because I'm picking this belt as I like it. She's like, don't get mad at me. That was awesome.
She kills me because when I was like, hey, let's do this video to where like you're rating some of my belts. And I'm like, what do you think about this winged eagle belt? And she's like, I don't like it. It's ugly. Oh. It's just an eagle. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, okay, well, what about this blue universal belt? I love it. I'm like, God. No.
No. You like the letter belt over the winged eagle?
Yeah.
Bruh. I take back just one of my bless your hearts. I'll leave you with the other 10, but just one of them on that one. I know that. I bet you were.
Yeah, because like if I get a winged eagle or an intercontinental or something, anything with an eagle or a globe, it's like that belt's ugly. But yeah, if it's a universal or something like that, she's like, it's so pretty.
Ethan, are you okay there?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you on a set of Super Mario Brothers over there?
Absolutely not. I'm just chilling at home, just
all right,
relaxing.
Well, Stephen, we really appreciate you coming on, taking your time out and taking the time away from your wife to do this. I know your time's important with her.
Yeah.
We wish you the best, and definitely next month we'd like to bring you on because I want to find out more about that. I want to find about what you decide on your channel, what belts to review, what you don't review.
Yeah.
I want to hear more of the history of that. Time flies so quick when you're having fun.
Yeah.
And unfortunately we're time sensitive on here to keep people watching, and I wanted to bring you back to talk more about that because I love that I just found out about you. I may even want a picture with you and a big hug. Since you did that with it. Oh, she's walked in the room.
I can hear her. I can hear her down the hallway, so I didn't know if she was going to pop in or not.
Come here, honey. Come on.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah,
come on in.
Did you hear her? I heard
What'd
you talking shit.
Hi, baby. Come on over. We're just talking about your winged eagle belt that you love so
Yeah, I was talking about how you don't like the winged eagle belts and how you like the universals.
Yeah, because they have more bling blingage.
No. It's got an
The
eagle.
other two are just boring and plain.
Boring and plain. Winged eagles are boring and plain.
You blasphemy.
I know, they're probably all losing their minds right now.
Yeah.
She probably can't hear us, can't she?
No, she can't hear you.
Tell her she's in our thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
It's difficult.
They're all thinking of you in their thoughts and prayers.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And if Steven mistreats you and doesn't cook you a 7-piece meal every night, let us know.
And if I don't, if I don't cook you a 7-piece meal, they're gonna.
He takes me out to get it, so we're good.
All right. We'll let
there you go. And
so
have a happy 4th of July.
Yeah, happy 4th of July. I got the United States belt here, so happy 4th, everybody.
Yeah. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. Thank you so much, Steven, for coming on the show. Great guy.
Thank you for coming, brother.
And we'll see you soon. Okay, buddy?
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Steven Hammer, everybody, the legend, the former manager of Bobby Eaton. Man,
you learn something fucking new every day.
Dude, that dude is awesome. God, I could talk with him for hours on some stuff.